check.
Yes, I'm just about to
Here we go.
flag on the play.
Da, 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 da. Nice.
Come on.
Here we go. Nathan
Live.
needs to. Oh.
Flag on the play. I think you are a little quiet.
I'm a little quiet. That's new.
Live.
Hello. If I bring my mic closer, is that any better?
Speak again, sorry.
Hello.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool. Cool. There we go. Yeah, I've got
Yeah, no,
crimson feather
sounds all
in.
good.
Graham,
Needs to rant.
shall I? Advanced no. What's advanced settings? Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's
Good to go.
okay. Yeah.
Shall I?
Sorry, I need to turn
She
my
can
volume
edit the
down.
uniforms. Oh, I should edit the uniforms, shouldn't I? Let's. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Should I do an intro?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Welcome to Flag on the Play.
Woo, woo, woo.
I'm playing.
Spirits are high over here.
Spirits are high. I don't know why.
Not for the Jags anyway.
Not for the Jags. Let's just. Well, actually, as the title says, we'll get to that in a minute.
We'll get to that. Should we start off with that Thursday night game? This just came to me. Saints versus the Vikings. Alvin Kamara still tying the most rushing touchdowns in a game in NFL history, going back to, I believe it's 1929.
Gosh.
Is the last player who had six rushing touchdowns.
It is, yeah. And I can't believe they didn't give him the seventh one. Like, that would just at
that point, I remember, that was going to be the sixth.
Yeah, no, but then they
when
would
they
have got one.
didn't.
They would have got one later anyway.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, no, absolutely.
So it just, it didn't make. Yeah, it didn't make sense. To me. But
anyway, yeah, no, he got the tying sixth one afterwards, which I was so happy to see.
Yeah, fair play to him. Like, the Vikings had no answer. The
Vikings' defense was very poor, and Mike Zimmer said after the game, "This is one of the worst defenses I've coached."
Yeah.
You can see that, and you can see how poor they are.
Yeah.
And they really need to draft.
Defensively, yeah.
Yeah. Even though they've had a couple of defensive veterans out this year.
And it's surprising how big a
Anthony
difference
Barr
that makes.
and who else was it?
Surprising.
Yeah.
Anthony Barr's out.
Eric Kendricks was out for that game.
Yeah.
Which was big. Eric Kendricks is really good. But you look at the corner position. They've got lots of young corners, but they don't have any young corners who have, I want to say, a definition, really. There's no kind of drive behind those young corners.
Yeah. Do you know what's going to be really interesting that I saw?
Go
on. It seems as though one Mr. Richard Sherman is not going to stay at the 49ers.
Ooh.
So, and I think that's...
Good luck finding a team next year.
Well, I think...
with the salary cap.
Yes, true. Well, I was going to say, I think the Jaguars and the Vikings are going to be some of those teams. Yeah, maybe the Patriots, who are like, actually, we're in need of a veteran cornerback.
Patriots are projected to have 57 million cap next year.
I think it works for them.
Yeah.
I am playing our good old friend Cat the Cowboys fan today, which is going to be fun.
Hello, Cat the Cowboys fan.
Good catch. So this is going to be fun. I'm playing with Minshew, my idol. No. We'll talk about that later as well.
Absolutely. Lions, going back to some games this week, Lions got smashed absolutely by the Bucks.
Yeah, I've looked that up, and I think that was more, again, like the Saints game. I think both of those games were more about the Vikings and the Lions having no defense than the Saints.
Yes, absolutely.
Like fair play to
However,
Kamara. And fair play to Tom Brady as well, who had an unbelievable... who had... Oh, just got sacked again.
He played really well, actually.
Yeah, I say fair play to both of them, but also they were not coming up against good teams. Like it's like I've got to say fair play to both of them because they were both fantastic. But you think they come up against a stronger team? Well, obviously, do they come up against a stronger team? Do they get that stat line?
Here's a thing I've been thinking that I just thought this week. I'm watching that game. Tom Brady still has the arm talent. He still has the power to throw the ball down the field. However, he's not doing it.
No, I think he's...
And I believe that's why the Bucs aren't as good as they could be. They have an incredible roster and they have some amazing talent. But Tom Brady isn't confident throwing the ball that far down the field. His longest pass this year has been 50 yards.
I think he and Matt Ryan, and I think Drew Brees actually. This has been the one year where they've all shown that they can play football. Like they've all shown that they can win big games and play well. So Drew Brees was against the Buccaneers, Tom Brady this weekend, and Matt Ryan's had some good games as well. But all of them with age are now showing that they're lacking consistency. Like Tom Brady made a couple of really great kind of downfield throws against the Lions. But then again, like you're saying, it's against the Lions. You've got to be able to make those throws against the tougher teams, against the tougher cornerbacks to win you those tougher games. So when we get onto our playoff talk a little bit later, the Buccaneers, I don't think go far personally.
Neither do I.
Yes! Oh, it's a pick! Go! Yes! Yeah.
Ooh, good pick.
So that's my... that's my assessment on... To be fair to the Brady, though, 22 of 27. That was... That was, well played, Tim. But this was my point as well. Blaine Gabbert came in because the Buccaneers were doing so well
in the third quarter.
Yeah, and he equally threw for a ridiculous amount of kind of yards.
Yeah, let me have a look quickly.
I say ridiculous amount of yards for the length of time he was in, and his accuracy was good as well.
He was in for he was in halfway through the third. Through 9 of 17 for 143 yards on 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, so that's
the Lions just struggled all day.
Yeah. And so, like, fair play to Brady. But
Stafford, I believe Stafford came out early as well.
He did. He was injured. Yeah, poor Stafford.
David Blau and Chase Daniel kind of didn't really pick up any slack there.
Yeah, we were watching that game together. I think was it Saturday, that game?
Yes, it was. It was a Saturday game. It was the early Saturday game, and we were watching it.
We just kind of stopped halfway through and went, this is over. Like, I remember that. Cat misses Dak. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here playing with Minshew. She's playing with Dak, and it's a bit like, this is. It may not be like this.
Ooh, another game this week that I didn't expect. The Jets beating the Browns.
I know, the Jets, I don't know what's come under the Jets, and they've just been fired up and ready to go. Like
defense.
Yeah, and what did I say? What I say this to you while watching the games as well? It's the Jets have won, 2 of the last 3 or something?
Two straight games.
Yeah. Guess what happened 2 or 3 games ago?
Yeah.
Fired the defensive coordinator. Greg Williams went.
Yeah.
Like, we need to stop fair play to Greg Williams for his great defensive play kind of a decade ago when the Saints won the Super Bowl. But since then, like...
Nothing, yeah.
He's been part of the 0-16 Browns. He's been a part of the Browns before then. Like, he was a part of the 5-11 Rams. He was a part of the Jets, and...
Yeah.
It shows you how important coaching is. And I'm going to run
as a head coach, he's gone 22 of 34.
Which is not great.
No.
And, yeah. I want a decent quarterback. Is that Vikings related?
Yes, Vikings need to pick a franchise quarterback.
Well, this is the really interesting thing. I saw a really interesting statistic thing about Kirk Cousins. And it's bringing up these questions. I've done a lot of quarterback research this season because Trevor Lawrence, Minshew, these sorts of questions, what's going to happen with kind of what we're looking at there. And also just trying to evaluate quarterbacks better because we've been streaming and things. Something I've noticed is that stats don't equal game tape. So...
No.
And so Minshew, statistically, before he got kind of... and actually I'll put Dak in this conversation as well. Both of them, before their injuries and not playing anymore, were statistically top 10 QBs. But both of their teams had one win. And so sometimes it's very much more about looking at the film and the game recognition, because actually if you're getting... You may have the perfect passer rating, all your throws may be completions, but if you're getting sacked every other play and then completing a pass every other play, then your team isn't going anywhere. And statistically, as a quarterback, you're great, but actually your team is not scoring points. They're not going forward. They're not.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Derek Carr, his passer rating is 102.2.
Wow.
Which is quite good.
Yeah.
But the Vegas Raiders can't get their offense rolling.
Yeah.
They can't put together drives. Kirk Cousins, 103.1. They've struggled a little bit in the past few weeks.
Yeah.
No, that's something I was having a look at, and yeah, that's why Dak deserves a contract, but not a big one.
Yeah, and it's also like when we look at Kirk Cousins, he has never, I found it really fascinating. He has never had, I think he's never had a losing season, but he's never had more than 10 wins.
Yeah.
And I think that sums up the sort of quarterback Kirk is, and we can't claim that he's a bad quarterback, but I do think the Vikings need to start making a decision, kind of a bit like the Jag.
Oh. Oh,
I'm
just
back.
lost you for a second there.
Yeah, it's all right. Sorry, my controller died.
Okay.
I knew what the problem was this time. I'm back. Sorry, the point I was making is the Vikings, a bit like the Jags with Minshew and the Cowboys with Dak, is kind of, these guys are clearly good statistically. Being statistically good shows that they are good in some capacity.
Yes. Here's the thing. Deshaun Watson. He is pushing for MVP sort of talk.
But
he's kind of... But Texans are doing horribly. They're 4-11.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson has 4,458 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, 6 picks, 112.1 passer rating. He's completed 70% of his passes.
Yeah. It just shows you that you can have an amazing QB and your team still not be good.
Yeah.
And I forgot what my point was going to be there.
It's about the team you build around them as well.
Yeah, and it goes...
As much as the QB.
The overall point I'm trying to make is it very much goes into how we evaluate quarterbacks. Is that, that we need to recognise that ultimately quarterbacks... The only thing you need out of a quarterback is to win games.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if they're statistically good but they're not winning games. Doesn't matter. You probably need a new quarterback. Which is why I think the Jaguars have been changing between their guys. I disagree with it, but I understand why. Equally, you look at Deshaun Watson. He's clearly very, very good.
Yeah.
But it's not him that's not winning them the games, if you see what I mean. Is that you've got to look past the statistics. Yeah, you've got to look past the statistics and look at the game film and see that, and see what impact they're making on the game. And that's the thing with Minshew. I was actually saying to Tori while watching a lot of the Jags games, I'm always scared when Minshew's playing. Not because I don't think not because I think he's a bad quarterback, but because I'm nervous about what he's going to do. Which means I don't have confidence in him, which just shows that he doesn't have enough winning material to win games. And I'm not sure whether that's the team around him, whether that's coaching, or what that is. But that presents a problem. Whereas I watch a quarterback like Dak Prescott, or kind of less so with Kirk Cousins actually, and I can see them winning games. I'm confident that they have that ability.
That's the thing I'm questioning with Dak though. He's had an incredible rookie season. The season after that, he was all right. Had good stats, but the team was kind of under 500, or I believe, or they ended up 9-7. And then this year, I believe they had like 2 or 3 wins at the point he got injured.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, you got to think, that's a team with quite a lot of talent. They didn't do incredibly well with him there at quarterback anyways, in the Mike McCarthy system.
Yes! Sorry, Cat ran a fake punt.
But I think, it's partially the Mike McCarthy system that you've got to think you've had a quarterback who's been able to do statistically well and has managed to win you games as well in a system. But now he's kind of, suddenly there's a bit of a drop-off and you're not winning games with him.
Yeah. Go on.
I mean, we've discussed that with Carson Wentz and the offensive, or the QB coach leading, and he's not played well.
Yeah. I'm going to answer a couple of questions. So we had, who would be a good QB fit for the Vikings? So if you're saying that Kirk Cousins isn't pushing, well, I think the Vikings are a team, I think, that deserve a deep playoff push. They've built good teams, and they are building a good team.
There's just too many holes in the defense.
There are at the moment. So you potentially keep Kirk Cousins to keep you on a winning season, but post Kirk Cousins,
I say no.
Ooh, interesting.
I say there's not really a let out of Kirk Cousins' contract for another couple of years, but if you want a QB that's going to be a franchise-worthy QB, that's going to change the game for you, you need to pick early.
Okay.
And I think picking at 20 is going to be kind of, there's some quarterbacks who have been game changers that have been picked there. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady was picked in the 6th round.
Yeah.
But the vast majority of game-changing quarterbacks are picked early, and I can't really see the Vikings getting one in a few years' time late.
Yeah.
There's just not the massive QB talent out there.
No, if I was going to pick,
I
think it depends. Yeah, I think it. Trevor Lawrence, the Vikings. See, I think they should go for someone like Kirk Cousins that can learn under Kirk Cousins. So is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Someone like Kyle Trask, or Trask if you're American. Or I guess Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson might fit in there.
Zach Wilson, he's going to go top 10. He's on this consensus big board I've got. He is 8.
Who's picking him?
I'm not sure he's declared, so there's no consensus on where he's being picked. But he's averaging around 8th.
Okay.
But
I think
Trey Lance is one below him.
Okay, yeah. The quarterback I would sort of pick is someone. I wouldn't go for a particularly athletic or fast guy, because I don't think a lot of teams are going to be looking for that sort of guy. I think find your guy who can throw the ball well. Have him learn under Kirk Cousins how to do the play action as well as he does. You've got Dalvin Cook and a decent O-line.
The O-line will need a little bit of work.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I think... So I don't think there are any... I can't think of any free agent quarterbacks that would do that at this moment in time.
I think Jameis Winston, maybe.
No.
I would be interested to see Cam Newton.
See, I just think they need to not worry about the athleticism. Just get yourself someone who is willing to make the throws that Kirk Cousins is not, and get them on target.
I would love to see Andy Dalton as well. Actually, there.
Andy Dalton's a great fit. That's a great one.
Trubisky is going to be a free agent if he's not signed.
Trubisky's probably not a bad one as well.
And that would be good. Give him a year to sit.
Yeah.
And learn.
Yeah. I wouldn't pick.
I don't see Dallas. I don't see Dallas moving on from Dak.
No.
But yeah, no, I think Chicago picked Trubisky, to be honest. He's got too much upside.
Yeah. Oh dear. Let's have a look. What was the other question? JJ, I'm going to get to JJ in a minute. My rant is coming. It's coming. Trust me.
We're getting there.
Is there any current QB whose contract is ending they could have? So
those are the ones I was talking about. So the top 9 available free agent quarterbacks next year: Dak, Phillip Rivers, Trubisky, Jameis Winston, Cam Newton, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Jacoby Brissett, Tyrod Taylor, Andy Dalton.
Phillip Rivers may fit in there, but again, is that
it's going to be a very 2008 Brett Favre Vikings, isn't it?
I think
like I was saying, Phillip Rivers is sort of a Brett Favre style guy, without the athleticism. Brett Favre went to the Vikings for a couple of years late in his career.
I think, which I think works for the Vikings. I think the Vikings actually don't need an athletic guy particularly.
No, their scheme is good enough that they don't need it.
No, exactly, and I think actually by leaning into that, you give yourself a lot of options. By not kind of competing with the other teams to get a quarterback who gives them identity, you're actually you're actually going for the one guy other teams don't want, but then he's going to be the best guy in that category. So that's why I said Kyle Trask, because actually at Florida he was doing everything himself and he's not particularly athletic. And Florida did okay. Why did I run the ball there? That was stupid.
There's going to be that's actually really interesting. Sorry, I just saw free agent wide receivers coming up, and it's a lot of good players. Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
Juju.
Interesting.
Kenny Golladay. AJ Green. T.Y. Hilton. Sammy Watkins. Larry Fitz. Alan Lazard. Will Fuller. Marvin Jones Jr.
I think a lot of those guys... A lot of great guys. I think a lot of those guys are going to get re-signed.
Same, however, Allen Robinson will want to leave. Yes. I think he wants to leave, and I think he will.
A lot of,
and also, I can see Will Fuller not being re-signed.
Do you think a lot of people will go and sign this season because of the cap limit?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. But I also think it will force contracts down. So Alan Lazard has had a great season.
He was injured for a portion in the middle, but he's played well, and he's kind of the number two or three receiver.
But I think
and Rodgers trusts him, so it's
I think players like him and Will Fuller are the sort of people who they are number 2 receivers, and having a number 2 receiver is important. Oh, is Kat going to get this 2-minute drill? She's going to forget to take a time out unless she's listening.
Oh, you tackled it inbounds. Good job.
Here she goes. Goes with a run. It's going to wind the clock down. Run. Yeah, there we go. So I think those guys, who are wide receiver number 2s, which are important to have a good one of those. But I think
they'll take team friendly deals. I reckon.
I think you'll end up with a lot of exactly. That's how they'll get under the cap. Is a lot of those guys will take smaller deals because teams aren't willing to pay them big money because they'll go actually. I've got wide receivers. Like it's not. And also you can draft them. I think that's the thing. You can always find wide receivers in the draft.
Receiver is the one position that players can just be immediately thrust into and still produce.
Yeah.
And we've seen it this year.
Is Kat subbing in Andy Dalton?
But you see people like Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins has done well. Denzel Mims has been all right.
Yeah.
Who else am I thinking? Jalen Rager's been all right. Henry Ruggs, C.D. Lamb. Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah. I was just thinking as well, the Browns had Donovan Peoples-Jones, who's had a really underrated season, and he was drafted late.
Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool's another one. That's mine. No, come on, get it. No, there were like 5 guys there.
But I mean, the Browns were without their 4 starting receivers this week.
I felt so sorry for them. Yeah. Do you want to talk about?
It's rough on them. But...
I don't know how to sub in Dalton. If you go to the start and click on go into your squad and then click on Dak, you'll get him out. Actually, Dalton's not in this game, is he? Because he wasn't a backup.
No, he's not going to be in.
No, he's not going to be in it. You're just going to have to ride it with... Oh, I missed the tackle. Sam, you want to... go on, answer Kat's question about Zeke's performance this season.
Right. When watching the Cowboys play, he hasn't been outstanding. He hasn't looked like his former self. He hasn't looked like he'll go break a ton of tackles and be a home run hitter like he used to be. That being said, he's closing in on a 1,000-yard season. He's only had 5 touchdowns, I think, is a big thing. But also the fumbles have really cost him.
Yeah.
He's fumbled it 5 times and lost 4 of them. His longest run has been 31 yards.
Yeah. Is that potentially a coaching thing? Like, I know you've said this about Mike McCarthy.
Yes, I absolutely think it's a coaching thing. But also, I think his play has regressed a little bit. He doesn't look good. He doesn't look as good as, if I can find his stats, Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
Right, so Zeke is averaging 4.1 yards a carry, which is all right, but he's not getting very... he's averaging kind of 60 yards a game.
Yeah. Which is a running back, you want more than that.
Yeah, Tony Pollard's come up big recently. He's got 4 touchdowns. His longest run's been 42 yards, has 4.4 yards per carry. He's only got about 400 rushing yards, but I think they need to utilise Pollard more because Zeke is looking just so mediocre.
Yeah.
And they've given him the ball. They've actually given him the ball 230 times.
Gosh.
To put that into perspective, what I can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 running backs have more touches than Zeke. Rushing the ball. That's Josh Jacobs, James Robinson, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And yeah. So he's actually getting the touches, but he's still kind of not quite getting there. He's not quite pushing elite anymore.
Get up. Oh, no.
The only reason he's pushing good yardage stats is because of the amount of times he's touched the ball. So he's had 230 attempts.
Yeah, I think Tori's comments are really good as well. Do teams just know how to stop Zeke? I think there is an element of that to good running backs as well. So you just prepare for them. You get ready for them, right?
Yes, however, I would say, why is Tony Pollard not doing the same then?
Yeah.
Because they've had Tony Pollard for a couple of years as well now.
Yeah, true.
Why haven't they been able to shut him down to fewer yards per carry?
Yeah.
Right. I think it is Zeke has regressed.
Yeah.
And they are still forcing him the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Ooh.
And I think the turnovers especially is really, really bad.
Yeah.
To put it into perspective, Kyler Murray's fumbled the ball 5 times.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson's fumbled the ball 5 times. Lamar Jackson only lost 2. Kyler Murray hasn't lost a single one.
Interesting.
Zeke's lost 4 of them.
That's great.
So it is just... I want to talk stats, and he's got decent stats this year, but you have to see him play as well.
Yeah, I think I'm learning.
And
more
he's just looked lackluster.
Yeah. Wait, where's the ball? Who's got the ball? No, yeah, I absolutely agree. I think game tape is really telling as well. Like at the end of the day, and this is something that I'm constantly reminding myself of, is that it's a sport. It's a game. It's like, and that leads me nicely into my rant. Are you ready?
Before that, here's a quick fact. Aaron Jones has had 50 less attempts than James Robinson, has 8 less yards. Averaging 5.6 yards per carry.
Yeah, that's good.
More than Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
And Nick Chubb.
Ooh, who do I throw to? There's one. Oh no, he fumbled it. No, dang it. No! Chase him!
I think that's the most by a running back, just full stop.
Yes, I got him!
Go with your rant. I'll sit back and...
Actually, no, I'm not going to... Actually, I will go for my rant. I'm going to put kind of... Okay, here we go. Tanking.
Buckle up, everyone. Buckle up, it's going to be a long one.
I am really, really, really sick of teams talking about tanking. And so my first piece of evidence, I'm going to play a video that probably lots of people have seen of JJ Watt. And JJ Watt talking to press this week. And he's talking about athletes. He's talking about NFL players. He's talking about kind of the Texans and things. And he's talking about them as players. But then also he says some really interesting things about fans, not about tanking, I think.
Yeah, sorry, I would like to interject here saying JJ Watt is a true competitor.
Great guy.
He's one of the most competitive guys you'll see in the league.
Oh, Cat scored.
And he wants to do well on every single game, every single down, every single play. Yeah. And I think the NFL needs more players like him. Yeah, with that sort of attitude, that sort of competitiveness and that drive to get better and play well.
Yeah. So I'm just going to play this video. Apologies for the swear words in it. He's very passionate and and actually I'll talk about what I'm going to relate it to. Hang on, if I can play it.
You should not be here.
Let me see. Can
this is a job where...
Can I? Oh, let me replay it. Dang it. Oh, let me go back and replay it now. Here we go.
Come in and put work in the building, go out to the practice field and work hard, do your lifts and do what you're supposed to do. You should not be here. This is a job. We're getting paid a whole lot of money. There are a lot of people that watch us and invest their time and their money into buying our jerseys and buying a whole bunch of... And they care about it. They care every single week. We're in week 16 and we're 4-11. And there's fans that watch this game, that show up to the stadium, that put in time and energy and effort and care about this. So if you can't go out there and you can't work out, you can't show up on time, you can't practice, you can't want to go out there and win, you shouldn't be here. Because this is a privilege. It's the greatest job in the world. You get to go out and play a game. And if you can't care enough, even in week 17, even when you're trash, when you're 4-11, if you can't care enough to go out there and give everything you got and try your hardest, that's bullshit. So that's how. If you can't come in and put work in the building, there are people every week that still quit you, that still come up to you and say, hey, we're still rooting for you, we're still behind you. They have no reason whatsoever to stink. But they care, and they still want to win, and they still want you to be great. That's why. Those people aren't getting paid. We're getting paid handsomely. That's why, and that's... That's who I feel the most bad for is our fans. And the people who care so deeply in the city, the people who love it, and who truly want it to be great. And it's not. And that sucks as a player, to know that we're not giving them what they deserve.
That needs to go down in history. It's one of the most amazingly things he's ever said. And
it's extremely poignant because he just he's absolutely right.
He is, and this is why I'm going to have a rant, and this is what bothers me about tanking. First of all, I'm just going to say, if you want to make a joke about tanking, a joke is a joke. I'm not mad about jokes. Jokes are funny, like, I get it. Like, and that's not. Yeah. I'm not kind of making. I'm not going to have a rant about a joke. This is not what I'm talking about. Being a Jaguars fan, I have experienced for the last few weeks constant kind of comments amongst Jaguars fan pages that they want our team to lose to get the first overall pick. And I don't believe that's a collective joke. That's my point, basically. And I think what JJ Watt says here, I think, is just so poignant and bothers me so much about attitudes amongst fans. He says, it is their job. Like, if you think about it for a second, the only reason that we have sport to watch on TV is entertainment.
Yeah.
There is no other value, really, that sport provides apart from entertainment. And the minute you think that, you think we are paying someone like Patrick Mahomes, kind of 500 million over 10 years or whatever it is, just for him to play well, for us to enjoy watching, to win games, and those sorts of things. So as JJ Watt says, if a player is not going out there and performing his best, like I said, they should not be there.
Yeah.
I don't believe any players or coaches are tanking, and that's the reason why. It's their jobs. They are paid to do well. And people get fired. Like, it's not that people don't. People get fired when they don't do their jobs well.
Yeah.
And then he goes on to talk about the fans, and he says that he says that they go out, they try their hardest, they are athletes, they get paid to do their job well, and they go and do it, and sometimes you just don't play well. Sometimes you lose.
Yeah.
Sometimes the other team is better than you. Sometimes they prepare better.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. That's the entertaining thing about sport. That's the thing about sport I love, is that you never know who's going to win, because there are 100 things that go into it. Your team may be more talented than that team, but if they've prepared better, if they're coached better, they might win. And that's the thing I love about sport.
That's why Jaguars nearly beat the Packers a couple of weeks back.
Exactly. And
yeah, it's like the Falcons nearly beat the Chiefs this week.
Yeah, there's another great example. Absolutely. And this is what has really bothered me this year about talking specifically with the Jets and the Jaguars, talking about tanking and things. As a fan, or this is more my question, how can you call yourself a fan and purposely want your team to lose?
Yeah,
like
that's
How can you? Because you think about what being a fan means. Being a fan is like I said, sport is just entertainment. So you are a fan of a team because you are entertained by them. And we could go into real depth about what it means to be a fan and things like this.
There's supposedly a big loyalty behind this,
and that's what I mean.
I think those teams who those fans not wanting your team to do well and things like that. It does show a lack of loyalty, almost a lack of support for that team.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say, is that part of this competitiveness...
I do agree it's harder in the NFL, because if you do worse, you get a good draft pick and you can pick the best player. But
this is my
there is
thing.
Still that level of you want your team to do well.
Yeah, absolutely. So my 2 points are... I forgot what my first point was. That's annoying.
Start with your seconds.
Sorry, my first point was, as a fan, yes, there's we pick a team that we love for whatever reason.
Yeah. And
we follow them. Like, I think we need to get hate out of sport. Like, I saw a really interesting comment that was saying, like, when we go to watch football, we have to separate the fans. Oh, that was past influence. When we go, like, in kind of British football, we separate the fans because we can't have fans of different teams alongside each other, because they'll fight. And just that's really sad. That's the opposite end of it. But the beauty of being loyal to a team is that you're a part of that community. You're a part of their competitiveness. If they lose, you're like, you played well. It's a shame we lost. It's still entertaining to see them lose, because you know that there always has to be a loser and there always has to be a winner. That's kind of sport. That's entertainment. Obviously, you want your team to win more than they lose, but sometimes that isn't the case. And so kind of going on to your point about...
Some cases of that, there are big rivalries in the NFL. Like, as a Packers fan, I have a natural I wouldn't call it hatred, that's quite strong, but disliking of the Bears.
Yeah.
Um,
but at the end of the day, like, that's what I mean, is at the end of the day, you know that it's just a game. It's just sport.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it hurts a little bit more if you lose to them because they're a rival, but it's not like it's the end of the world or anything. And this is kind of what leads me on to my second point. About you saying that in the NFL, if you lose, you get a higher draft pick, and that's a reward and stuff.
Yeah.
I was saying this year, I said for a lot of this season, because the Jaguars were going to have the second pick rather than the first pick, because they'd won more than the Giants. I did some research and stuff. The Jaguars have never had the first overall pick. Never.
Oh.
They've never been the worst team in football.
They've been around for 20 years, so...
Yes, but all of those 20 seasons, never had the first overall pick, as far as I'm aware. And that I held that as a badge of honour. I kind of went, yes, we're not awful, but we've never been the worst team.
Yeah.
And it just, what has really bothered me this season is Jaguars fans wanting the Jaguars to lose, wanting them to purposely not do their jobs, telling them to not play to the best of their abilities so that we can have a higher draft pick.
Yeah.
And it's like I said earlier in the season, you're telling a whole 53-man squad, coaches, players and everything, that you want...
you want them to not do well, you want them to lose their jobs, potentially. Things like that.
So that you can get one player. So that you can get a better... you can get a better player. And I just think that's... You would never say that to their face. You would never...
Yeah.
And then on top of that...
You are the definition of a die-hard fan, Nathan.
Thank you. On top of that, when we look at the draft, we need... And I think this is the problem for just NFL fans in general. And maybe this is... I don't know where this has come from. We need to stop looking at the first overall pick as a reward.
Yeah,
it's not a reward.
There's a reason.
It's like it's literally there. Your team was so bad. The league has created the draft so that your team can improve.
Yeah.
Like that's how we look. That's how we need to look at it. Not that we succeeded in playing badly, so we're going to be rewarded with the best player. No. You played so badly, we have created the league so that you can get better.
Yeah.
So that this competitiveness can continue and people can enjoy watching our sport.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest complaints about the Premier League in Britain is that there's no kind of salary cap. So if you're a rich team, you can spend money on better players.
Yeah.
So the good teams are always good. And that loses some competitiveness because more often than not, the good teams will win, and they will stay good. And that's one of the reasons I love the NFL is that it is designed to be competitive.
Yeah.
My rant.
And so teams go up and down during the years.
Yeah.
And we see that quite regularly.
Yeah. Sorry, that's my rant over. So feel free to joke about tanking. Like it's funny. I say it's kind of there's a lot of humour to be had in it, but I think it's just as fans we need to appreciate. We need to appreciate sport. We need to appreciate that these guys are working really hard as athletes.
Yeah, I mean that brings me back to something JJ Watt was saying, that some of these players' attitudes just aren't there.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing, that I think everyone should go out with that sort of JJ Watt attitude. And I think it's amazing what he does. You know, he goes day in, day out, he wants to get better, he wants to do well.
Yeah.
And you see quite a few players not doing that, or when it gets bad, complaining. Yeah. And I understand that to some level, but also at the same time, keep trying to get better.
Yeah.
Keep trying to do better than you are, and keep pushing. And I think that's kind of what's put some players where they are now today. I will go to a Packers reference because I can't remember any others, but Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
He's 7 years in the league now. His first two, he could have been cut by the Packers. the amount of drops he had, the amount of wasn't the best route runner, and now he's arguably the best receiver in the league.
Yeah.
Statistics wise, anyways. Yeah. His route running is kind of second to none almost.
Yeah.
Same could be. And it's that drive to push forward and get better, and you can see where it happens. DeAndre Hopkins is now amazing.
Yeah. It's just the idea of when you're talking about tanking, you're suggesting, like, I completely agree with you, there are players who don't put in as much effort and don't work as hard. And like you say, but the idea that an entire organization or an entire an entire kind of team or whatever is kind of purposely playing badly, just it blows my mind. And wanting that team,
no one goes to try and purposefully, no organization purposefully tries to do badly. No. I do get the you do see some organizations that aren't willing to put the money into the team. Dan Snyder, Washington football team.
You can see players and owners and coaches and all of these make bad decisions.
Yes.
But that's the point of sport, is that it's humans just trying their best. And sometimes humans are humans. Sometimes we get things wrong. And that's okay. Like, yes, in sport, you want guys to be as good as they can. And so if you do make mistakes, then I forgot what I was saying now. That's annoying. If you do make mistakes, you do end up kind of getting cut and stuff. But that's the cycle of sport. It's the competitiveness. It's an element of it. It's not. Yeah. We shouldn't
it's the people who are at the top of their game, playing, GM, front office, coaching, whatever.
Yeah.
They're the people who have strived to be there, who have put the work in.
And that happens in every job.
Bill Belichick's been coaching for 40 years now.
Yeah. And it happens in every job. It's not just the NFL. If you're not good at your job, you don't get promotions.
Yeah.
And it's a real. I think that's something that JJ Watt's really highlighting, is that just in every area of life, just you're getting if you're not, like, at least in career-wise, you're being paid to do what you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so to not put your all into it is to throw that money in someone's face, when that money could be so valuable to someone else in another place. Rant over. Thank you, Kat, for the game. I'm going to play some Superstar KO so that I can, like, tune it out. So what next?
Right. Are there any other games you want to go through this? Actually, one thing I did want to say, some of the roster turnover this year.
I was going to say, what an example, I'll refer to this, an example of not pouring your all into it. Mr. Dwayne Haskins.
I completely understand why he was cut. I think it's the right decision.
I completely agree.
He's been stupid, to be honest. Basically, has been fined twice for breaking COVID protocols. Lost his captaincy. Faced him. It was a pretty hefty fine as well. And so he kind of had this 1 week, this game against the Panthers to go, I'm still a captain of this team. I can still bring something to the equation, and he showed he can't.
And I watched Pat McAfee.
And so he's released, and I think it's the absolutely right thing. And Taylor Heineke kind of played better than he did.
He really did. I watched Pat McAfee on this, and he was saying something really interesting, that last year he wasn't showing signs of trying to learn from someone better. He was just he just did his own thing.
And I think he shouldn't have gone to Washington.
It's
and
interesting.
There's this big there was this big story around Washington that it was Dan Snyder who forced them to pick Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah.
And thus it became this, oh, he's the whatever, he's the owner's son, stuff like that sort of thing. Where, and that kind of, and no one else wanted to pick him, essentially.
Yeah.
And he grew up in Washington, so he was a bit of a homecoming kid sort of thing. And that didn't help him either, and he's just not put the work in, and I think he absolutely has the talent. He was a first-round pick for a reason. He needs to go home, change his attitude, go somewhere else.
Yeah. I think, like you say, Tori, he isn't... I don't... Any quarterback who joins a team, rookie quarterback, and doesn't go seek the other quarterback's advice is doing something wrong.
That's something I love seeing Miami.
Yeah. They're
the relationship that Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tua Tagovailoa have is so funny to watch.
Yeah.
And it's really good because you can see Tua is kind of taking lessons all the time from Fitzpatrick.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what's going to make him a better quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think, I'm not going to lie, Steelers would be a good fit.
For Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, Steelers for any quarterback.
It's a really good place, yeah.
It's a good place. Mike Tomlin's a great coach.
Yeah.
Good O-line, knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Good O-line. You learn from a very, very good veteran quarterback who you can tell is reaching the end of his career in Big Ben. And so you think, you've got a couple of years there, maybe. Learn from one of the best quarterbacks in the game. Historically an incredible quarterback who's won Super Bowls. And you put something together and you could become great. But you have to fix that attitude first.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's all kind of happened this week, hasn't it? It's kind of...
Yeah.
It's...
no, absolutely
It's been a really telling week of kind of... I don't know, of players and fans' attitudes and...
it's just kind of reached a tipping point almost, and you're just kind of like, sort it out.
And I think this off-season is going to be unlike any off-season, because I think the pandemic, for all of us, has made us reevaluate everything. And I think that's what's kind of fascinating about its impact on the league, is that you'll start at the league, people like Ron Rivera, who are great coaches in the first place, but more importantly, he's a great person.
He is, yeah.
And actually, they're starting to...
I think Ron Rivera is the right person for Washington, because
absolutely.
For a while, it's been a sort of toxic environment under Dan Snyder.
Yeah.
And Ron Rivera has come in and has basically said, no, I'm not taking any of this. I'm going to turn it into a working organisation.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah. And it does seem as though the consensus seems, I really hope it's the case when we get to the off season, that teams are going to go, actually, these coaches aren't good enough. Like, we're kind of I'm ready to say the right. Oh, Matt, you just missed it.
Missed the end, anyways.
Yeah. That actually, people are going. Actually, this is about more than jobs, more than basically, I'm looking at situations at the Jets and the Jaguars where you get the sense that they're going to clean house, because.
I've said this to Nathan a couple of times. I think Jaguars need to clean house. That's including head coach, both offensive and defensive coordinators and includes positional coordinators.
Yeah.
And positional coaches. I think they all need to go. They're not really helping anyone. You're seeing no development there in Jacksonville.
No.
The only real place you might want to keep running back coaches, they seem to be doing all right.
Yeah.
But clean house.
Yeah.
Start with a head coach who knows the type of organization he wants to build, who knows the...
Yeah.
What am I trying to say?
I don't know.
It's like Ron Rivera coming in and saying, "I'm going to clean this
culture
up.
Change.
This is the culture change."
It seems as though that's
what you need in Jacksonville.
That's what I was trying to say as well. Is that it seems as though a lot of moves that people have made, they're just being honest, really. And I like to see that when someone is not doing a good enough job, they're just saying, "I'm sorry, you're gone."
Yeah.
It's like I'm absolute believer in giving people the benefit of the doubt and giving people a second chance.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just need to look at some guys and go, "You've had enough second chances."
Yeah. You're going to do better without us. We're going to do better without you.
Yeah, and I think that is right sometimes. Like, if you're stuck in a job and you're not doing well, sometimes the best thing for you is to just go do something else for a bit. Just take a look at what you're doing, and it gives I don't know if Dwayne Haskins' apology will ring true, but he talked about kind of reevaluating things and this changing him as a person, and I really hope it does, and I really hope I really hope he takes the time and hopefully comes back to the league a better player and a better man, like he said. And that's what we hope, and I do think part of that is kind of the team going, okay, what you're doing is not good enough as a person and as a player, so we're not going to hire you. So you're going to have to be forced to work on those things outside of us.
Yeah. That was something I noticed from Ron Rivera's statement. It was very bland. There was no remorse or regret or anything. There was no kind of, we're so thankful for all he's done in this organisation, and we wish him the best, and all that kind of thankfulness, and kind of you're moving on to another part of your journey. It was just, we're moving on.
Yeah.
We think it's better that you leave, essentially.
Yeah. And sometimes that's just the right attitude.
And I think that was absolutely the right thing to do, because Dwayne Haskins hasn't really brought any positivity to that squad.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, you know what I want to talk about.
I do, but 17. I'm going to... But I'm... Week 17?
Yeah. Rams have a must-win situation this week, they're without Jared Goff.
I'm going to start with the AFC though, because I think this is what you want when you watch the NFL. This is just one of the best positions to be in. Okay, there are 5 10-5 teams.
Yeah.
And there are 4 playoff spots. That is just. That's great. Like, I'm so excited.
You do love to see it.
You love to see it. So we're gonna talk who's making that playoff, and so we're gonna talk about week 17, and we can sort of work our predictions in here as well, I guess. Then,
I can give you the playoff clinching scenarios for week 17
awesome.
Of the 2020 season. So, already clinched. Bills have already got a division title.
Yep.
Chiefs have got division title and first round bye.
Yep.
Steelers have got division title.
Yep. Steelers and Bills will be fighting for second and third. Which actually
I believe that the Steelers have said they're going to rest Big Ben, I think.
Okay, that makes sense because he's been dealing with some stuff.
Yeah. Can't remember where I saw that, but I saw it.
Okay. That's interesting. That's really interesting, and that's going to play into kind of predictions as we go through this as well.
Yeah.
Because AFC gets very, very interesting.
It gets kind of messy as we go in. So, first playoff clinching scenario. Baltimore Ravens, they play Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
They clinch the playoff with a win.
Yeah.
Or Cleveland loss, or Colts loss.
Basically, this is the thing we said last week.
And there's a bunch of tie and loss and stuff, but yeah.
This is the thing we said last week. We basically said that if teams want to get in, they just need to win their last 2 games. And actually, the teams that needed to win didn't, and that's made this a whole lot more interesting because now
so the Ravens won their game, and that's put them into the driving seat really because they played the Bengals.
Yeah, because literally for these 5 teams, it's win or go home. Right.
And so with the Browns, they play the Steelers.
So yeah, I'm going to go from the top of my list because it's just more straightforward for me.
Yeah.
So Titans currently have the division lead. I don't know what that's based on. I think division record, and
they clinch the title with a win,
and they're playing the Texans
or Colts loss.
Yeah. So they're playing the Texans. Sam, your prediction?
I think they win that. It's divisional, and Titans are playing well.
And also,
I say well.
Also, Deshaun Watson's a little bit injured, so
yeah. I'm not sure if he'll be back in time.
So I'm missing everyone's questions. Jets aren't doing awfully. That's absolutely Matt. It's been amazing, hasn't it? It's crazy. Pats need a wide receiver. Well, we can talk about that as well.
Or tight end.
We'll get to Jared Goff.
I think tight end would be more beneficial.
Potentially, yeah.
They've had
Goff
15
and the Vikings
catches from tight end this season.
We'll get to Jared Goff.
Jared Goff broke his thumb.
Yeah.
To put it,
Yeah.
So
where was I? Titans. So we think Titans win the division.
I think they beat Houston and that wins them the division.
Yeah. Which leaves the Dolphins, Ravens, Browns, and Colts fighting for 3 playoff spots. This is where it gets interesting. Dolphins play the Bills.
Yeah.
Ravens play the Bengals.
Winning their own.
Browns play the Steelers, and Colts play the Jaguars.
Colts need to win and have someone lose.
So currently, for whatever reason, tiebreakers, divisionals, whatever, Colts are the ones who miss out. So if every team were to lose or every team were to win,
Colts would miss out.
And so Matt goes, Browns aren't making it. This is the interesting thing. I was going to say, of those games, I think the Dolphins and Browns are the ones that are going to struggle. Because you've got
absolutely.
Miami, because Miami have got to play the Bills. Bills are looking red hot. Right, that's going to be difficult. I can't see the Bills resting anyone for their game.
I think they'll push for that.
However, the Browns will have guys back from injury. The Browns are coming up against Steelers.
Back from the COVID list as well.
Yeah. Browns going up against Steelers who are potentially resting Big Ben. It's a Steelers, and I can see. And also, if the Steelers are resting Big Ben, the Bills are definitely going to come out because they want that second overall seed. And so I can see Browns winning. Browns are more likely to win against the Steelers than the Dolphins are to win against the Bills, personally.
Yes. Bills have looked a really complete team, and I think they'll get to the championship game.
Yeah, I would agree. Now Juju isn't. Yeah, it's interesting that the kind of... Well...
honestly, it goes back to that attitude that Juju has stopped kind of going for the show of it and has gone, okay, I actually need to play. I actually need to work on this.
Yeah.
And he had a good game.
Yeah, he did. He played really well.
And you can't fault it, yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So
the reason the Steelers are not starting Big Ben is they can't drop any lower than their current position. So they are set in the number 3 seed unless they win and Buffalo loses.
Which is an interesting one because surely you would want to go for the second seed. But
it doesn't have as much of a difference this year because only one team gets the bye week.
I agree, but and I suppose the 7th seed actually is not going to be that bad because they're all 10 and 5. So okay, I guess I can see it, but I think at this rate, if everything stays the same, the Steelers would come up against the 6th seed.
Yeah. No, they'd be 3rd, so they'd come up against 5.
Yes, you're right. Which at this moment in time would be... No, hang on. 2nd, 3rd, 4th would go up against 7th, 6th, 5th. No, they'd come up against 6th.
Okay, yeah.
Sure. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so confusing. 6th...
They're gonna be 10 and 5 anyways, or similar.
Well, 6th is either going to be, at this rate, Ravens or Browns.
Yeah.
And actually, well, that's the thing is, I don't think you want to come up against any of these teams, so maybe that's fair enough, because these teams are dangerous. Like,
yeah.
So, we're going to do some predictions at the same time. You wanted to talk about Week 17.
I did, yeah. I believe it's all divisional games.
Yeah. So I think...
Which is an incredible way to end the season.
It is.
In my opinion, because tensions will be massively high, the games will be incredible.
Yeah.
And I think they're much harder to predict than they would be.
Yeah. I'm going to really struggle to predict these. Titans, I think, beat the Texans. I don't think that's a question.
Yes.
I can't... As much as I would love to see the Colts win the division, I can't see... I
can't see the Titans losing that.
Dolphins against the Bills.
I mean, what this essentially boils down to is win and in. And the only team who needs a win and something else to get in is going to be the Colts.
Yeah.
And so the Colts need win and someone to lose, whereas everyone else needs win.
Yeah.
Or someone else lose.
Yeah. So, sorry, what do you mean by tiebreaker? So the Bills are through already. They've won the division, but it's just Bills versus Dolphins, and if Dolphins lose, they don't get in unless everyone else loses.
Unless Ravens lose, or Cleveland loses, or Indianapolis loses.
Yeah. Yeah, Bills are looking deadly. I think I agree with all the comments about Bills. I think Bills AFC Championship.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they could challenge the Chiefs. I think it'd be really interesting.
I do. They match up quite well.
Oh, sorry. If the Dolphins and the Browns both lose/win, who gets in? So at the moment, Dolphins, Ravens, and Browns all get in. If everyone wins and everyone loses, the Colts are the team that misses out.
Browns can't lose. If they do lose, then they need the Colts to lose.
That's what I'm saying, is if everyone wins or if everyone loses, it's the Colts who don't get through.
Yeah. However, if the Browns are then next, because if they lose, the only team who can then lose and they still get in are the Colts.
Yes.
So if Browns lose and Dolphins lose, Dolphins go in.
Yes.
Baltimore goes in if Cleveland loses.
Yeah, it's a weird order and we don't fully understand.
Yes, so the current seeding has Titans in 4, Dolphins in 5, Ravens in 6, Browns in 7, and Colts on 8.
Yeah, so the Titans are that's a Division 1.
So if two teams lose or two teams win, they stay in the same relative ranking there. So if the Dolphins lose and the Ravens lose, they'll still say the Dolphins will still stay above the Ravens.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think this is what's really interesting, Matt, because I agree with you. On base, I would say Dolphins lose to the Bills, Ravens beat Bengals, Browns lose to Steelers, Colts beat Jaguars, which leaves the Dolphins and the Browns on 10 and 6, and the Browns, I don't know what the tiebreaker is, but the Browns are lower on the tiebreaker, which means they would miss out.
Yes, so Browns will have lost, which means Miami automatically gets in.
But what if Miami lose?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. What's the tiebreaker? I don't quite understand.
The Dolphins get in with a win, or the Ravens losing, or the Browns losing, or Colts losing.
Yeah, no, sorry. What I'm trying to understand is they'll both be on the same record. How come the Dolphins go in and not the Browns? That's what I'm trying to work out. I don't quite understand what's the tiebreaker because they're in.
Dolphins have a harder strength of schedule.
Right, that'll be it.
It might also go down to divisional.
Yes, actually, Dolphins have the better divisional. So
yeah.
So that's divisional is better record against within their division. So the Dolphins are 3-2. They would go to 3-3 with a loss against the Bills. Browns are 2-3 and would go to 2-4 if they lose against the Steelers.
Yeah.
But
I predict. I believe. Where are they? Oh yeah, I think Ravens will win against the Bengals.
Yeah, I don't think that's a contest. Ravens are starting to play better.
Yeah. And we talked Titans, didn't we?
They're more.
I believe Colts win as well.
I think there is some. So I'm going to talk. So I think the way
the Jaguars could push for it, but I still think that the Colts.
Yeah, this is more what I'm going to just create some drama where there is no drama. Basically, the basic running order I think is Titans beat Texans, they win the division.
Yes.
Dolphins lose to Bills. Ravens beat Bengals. Browns lose to.
Yeah.
Browns lose to Steelers
which puts the Dolphins in.
Yeah.
So then you only have one left between Browns and Colts.
And then Colts beat the Jaguars and Browns lose out. I think that's the base level sort of I think predictions, if you see what I mean. This is where I say I'm going to create some drama. I'm now going to kind of deliberate what is the upset percentage, shall we say. So the Titans don't get in if everyone wins and they lose. The likelihood of them losing to the Texans, especially with a Watson injury, I think is extremely low.
Very slim.
Did the Texans beat the Bengals? It was a close one. I can't remember.
Let me have a quick look. I believe they did in the end. Also,
the Jags have guaranteed the first overall pick now. I might get around to talking about that, or I might wait till.
No, Bengals won in the end.
So this is my thing as well.
37-31.
Yeah, my one upset thing would have been that the Texans actually had a rushing game, but still weren't able to beat the Bengals. I couldn't remember who actually pulled
just
out.
Just going to address Kat. Sorry, yes, the Ravens should have lost a draft pick. They were fined $250,000. They should have been fined the draft pick as well.
Yeah, absolutely, no question. They've ruined so much.
I think those reported 4 separate strains.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So 4 separate players brought it in and spread it.
Yeah, that's just mismanagement. They deserve to lose a pick.
Yeah.
And probably should have been fined higher actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, my upset percentage. My upset percentage on the Titans very low. I just can't. I can't see.
Yeah. I can't see the Titans losing that one.
Sorry. Yes. Sorry. That's really low. I just can't see them losing that
one. Tori, your question. That pick is just forfeit.
Yeah. So it doesn't.
So it does kind of move up. It's basically you've taken away that pick, and it skips.
Yeah.
So say I've just got first round pick order here. So say 4, 5, 6 at the moment. Atlanta, Cincinnati, Philadelphia. Say Cincinnati get that pick forfeited. That's just removed. So it'll go Atlanta will pick and then Philadelphia will pick, and the Bengals won't get that pick until their next pick in the second round.
Yeah.
So it's just removed, and just kind of everything's squashed upwards essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. So next on my upset percentage list is Dolphins. I think just because of the Dolphins and their identity, they're so prone to upsetting big teams because they are. Because they're good. I think this is quite...
Especially divisional games as well. If you think back to Dolphins-Patriots games,
The thing is for Miami, whether they win or lose. Well, this is the thing as well. I think they will know if they lose. They have to hope every other team loses, and I think they'll recognise that the Browns. And sorry, this. I will talk about these at the same time. That's what I think the Browns and the Dolphins have the same upset percentage, which is why I think you're going to get really good games out of both of them.
Yes.
Because I think both of them recognise that the Browns are going up against Steelers who are resting Big Ben, and he is their offense, essentially. Like, they got 60 rushing yards in their last game.
Yeah.
They have no run game to lean on. So, whereas the Browns have got players returning.
I put that game at 50-50. I'm not willing to call.
No, exactly. I think, yes, I said the Steelers would beat them, but I think the more you think about that game, Browns have people returning. They've just lost to the Jets. They need to win to get into the playoffs. I think once you factor all of that in, the Browns are going to be really hungry for it. And as such, the Dolphins are going to need to win. And they're going to be really hungry for that win. And so I think the Dolphins and Browns have really high upset percentages, which then which basically leaves the Colts. I think there is I agree. I kind of agree with what you said. I don't think they will lose, but the Colts are the one team the Jaguars have beaten this season. So so I think there is some upset potential there. I think you just look at the way they collapsed against the Steelers as well. I think the reason the Jaguars won against the Colts was mainly because they stuffed the run. They have stuffed the run in other games this season.
Colts running game has kind of taken off, to be fair, though.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Hines and Jonathan Taylor are playing really well.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think that's going to be a problem.
I agree. So I think it potentially just stays as it is.
Yes.
I would potentially say I wouldn't like to take a guess. My prediction is, and I think it's really sad, but my prediction is the Dolphins don't get through.
Ooh.
Because
potentially
I can't see the Colts or Ravens losing. I think the Bengals are good. I think the Bengals have got better.
I can see the Colts losing.
I can't see the Colts losing and the Dolphins and
if the Colts lose, that puts Miami automatically in the playoff.
I think that's the thing. I'm thinking with the Colts winning in mind. If the Colts lose, they're out. That's it for them. They need to win. But I just, like you said, that running game has just come on, and it's better than it was in week 1. Phillip Rivers inconsistent, but done
but he's playing all right. Yeah.
And that team has started to gel together. The Jaguars. It depends. I don't know. Will James Robinson be back? What's the Jaguars' offense going to look like? We have no idea.
I get what you mean, though. I actually think Browns have a bigger chance of the upset than the Dolphins.
That's why.
And so
that's what
I think I predict it stays the same or Dolphins go out.
That's my thing. I think either every team. I think either it stays the same because every team wins. Or I think that's my prediction. I think all of these teams obviously have to win to get through, so they're going to try and go and win. And I think all of those games are winnable.
The only team who is going to, I think the team with the biggest chance of losing is going to be the Dolphins.
Yeah, and I think that's a shame. I think they don't deserve to
lose out on the final week. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think they've played really well. But on the other hand, I really want to see the Colts in the playoffs because I think they're going to be dangerous and stop some good teams.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah. This is kind of ridiculous, but the Giants still have a chance to win the division.
I know, we'll get there in a minute. Actually, let's do that now. We've talked about AFC.
Yeah.
This is the interesting thing, Kat. Like, I don't know if I'll have time to talk about I could talk forever about the importance of backup QBs because I've got a whole thing about that.
Yeah.
But I think their duo because Fitzmagic plays so well once he comes in, I think actually they have the chance to do well because of this little quarterback duo they've got.
Yeah.
Even when
Fitzmagic is kind of very temperamental when he starts.
Yeah, but when he comes in, he's really clutch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt, I think we will definitely talk more about the draft as kind of...
yeah.
I think we'll talk more about the draft after the season when we have time to.
Yeah, definitely. Close to the time.
But
I'm planning on
quarterback at the Patriots
creating,
will almost be an entire stream. Like, it's... yeah.
I'm planning on creating a way too early 2021 predictions.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
So potentially after this week when the Packers aren't playing. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I'll write up what I think the record for each team next year is going to be, and that'll give us something to discuss before the draft and free agency and all that.
Yeah. Might get a flag on the Play website with some blogging going on.
We could potentially.
Let us know if that's something you'd read or be interested in, because then we can link that into our. We can kind of post links on Instagram then and stuff. So
yeah.
So NFC. Who do the Packers play? Let's get this out of the way.
Bears.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Bears have scored 30 plus in each of their in their last 4 games.
Because Bears need a win to get in.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
However, Green Bay have been playing well.
They have been playing well.
And just smashed the Titans 40-14. And the Titans had a good run game, a good O-line, and Tannehill's been playing well. And they were the number 1 scoring offense in the league.
Who do the Saints play? I need this to predict.
Saints play Carolina, but they're not the ones to worry about. Packers have the tiebreaker over the Saints.
Oh, so the Seahawks.
It's the Seahawks who are playing San Fran. They're playing 49ers.
Seahawks just beat the Rams? Lost the Rams? Who won that game?
Beat the Rams. They're playing the 49ers this week.
And that's potential. Seahawks to win that one.
Yeah. So for the Seahawks to go top, first round bye, they need... Oh wait, actually, the Saints have... I'm so confused here. Green Bay clinches first round bye with a win or a tie, or Seattle loss or a tie. But here, New Orleans clinches the first round bye with a win and a Green Bay loss and a Seattle win.
Seattle win?
Yeah. They're on the same record.
That makes sense.
I believe it'll go down to divisional.
Makes sense. Yeah. Josh Allen is another level. He's fantastic.
He has been playing well. He's been playing incredibly
Saints,
well.
Packers, Bucks, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals/Bears, and then Cowboys. Washington. Interesting.
But so what I'm saying is, if Green Bay lose and Seattle win, then Saints, and if Saints win, then Saints go top.
Yes.
Because Seattle would be 2 seed then. Because I don't know why, but I assume it'll be strength of schedule. They'll be better than the Packers.
Yes.
And then Saints can leap over the Seahawks.
Yes.
But the Saints can't leap over the Packers.
That's so weird.
Which is strange.
He has more.
So the Seahawks need to win, and then Green Bay loss, and New Orleans loss. So basically, Packers win, and it's all nice and dandy and simple.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. Let's work that down. So Packers v Bears, I think we'll get to, because Bears that's big for the Bears as well.
Bears are winning in, or Arizona loss.
That's what I was going to get to. Let's work our way down. So Saints play Carolina. That's a win. There's no question. Saints are going to come out and try to win that.
Yeah.
Because the Seahawks are coming out to 49ers, and they're going to want to win that.
I think that's going to be a close game.
I think it'll be a contest, but I think it'll be a contest. But actually, the
Kittle
Seahawks.
Is back.
I know, but I think
and played well.
I think it is more of a contest. But like you said, the Seahawks have the potential at a number 1 seed.
Yes, so they'll go for it. Yeah, so I think Seahawks do take that. And
so that's my thinking. I think we go Saints, Seahawks, both win.
Yeah.
And I'll come back to the Packers game because I think there are other interesting things to go through first.
Yeah.
Because you've got
Arizona, if they win, they play the Rams.
So Buccaneers are through. They're just through as a wild card. They can't win their division, but
no, but they're through. Yeah, they have a playoff berth already.
Yeah. It then gets interesting because you've got Rams Cardinals.
Yeah.
Who are playing each other, and you've got Bears Packers.
Yeah. So Rams clinch a playoff berth with a win.
Yeah.
Or Chicago loss.
Yes.
And the Cardinals get a playoff berth with a win, or a tie and a Chicago loss. So Arizona can't lose.
Arizona have to win.
Yes. Because if they lose, then Chicago goes in.
Even if Chicago loses?
Yes.
Got it.
And those games are all on at the same time.
That's going to be great.
Arizona, Chicago, Seattle, all on at the same time.
So what are our predictions there?
I think... I want to say I think Rams win, to be honest. Actually, no.
I think Cardinals win. I think Cardinals
Arizona win. Jared Goff's out.
Yeah, I think Cardinals win.
So Cardinals win.
I think Cardinals win, but Rams get lucky because the Bears can't beat the Packers. I think.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Which I think is a shame. I think the Bears. It would be amazing to see the Bears.
It would be annoying to see the Bears win.
Yeah. I love the comments going on about how great Josh Allen's been this season. He absolutely deserves it. Like I'd love to give him MVP, but
44 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
I mean, I have my own vote for MVP, which I'll talk about later.
You're going running back, aren't you?
No. So Vikings, out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
They needed to beat the Saints, really.
They needed a win there and they didn't. So they're not in.
Bears. It's really difficult to evaluate the Bears because they played the Jaguars and the Jaguars were trash. So it's who did they beat before then?
If it will show me Bears, no, okay. Give me 2 secs.
So which defenses did they score 30 points on?
Vikings, Jaguars, Texans, and Lions.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And the game before that run of scoring 30, they lost to the Packers 41-25.
Ooh, that's close.
And I think it's going to be that same score. I think it's going to be a very similar score, and I think the Packers win it.
I'm going to say it's going to be a little bit closer. I think it goes 41-27 or something. Actually, that's not much closer. I think it goes, 41-31 or something. I think it's a little bit closer, but I think Packers are still the better team. Because I just think the Bears are going to fight for it, because they need to win. If they lose, they have to hope the Rams beat the Cardinals, and there's just no guarantee of that.
Yeah, I see a lot of fight in Rodgers to get a good pick.
And a kind of a first, they're going to want a first overall bye.
Yeah.
If Cardinals and Bears both.
That's what I meant. I see a lot of fight in Rodgers to get the win, do as well as he can.
The Bears get in over the Cardinals. Then I think is that strength of schedule. They must be.
If we're saying Cardinals lose and Bears lose.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So if Arizona loses, that automatically puts the Bears in.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they win or lose then.
Okay.
If Arizona loses.
Yeah. And I would be scared of... I'm kind of... This is the thing. The Bears and the Cardinals, I think... Again, like all those kind of 10-5 teams in the other division, yes, they're sitting at 8-7. They're the difference between a 9-7 season and an 8-8. But actually, they've been they've been quietly good as well, and I think
they've been inconsistent.
I agree, and the Rams are there as well, so I think.
Yeah, the Bears. Fun fact: the Bears didn't even win all of their scoring 30+ points a game. They lost to the Lions, 34-30.
Yeah, no, okay. In which case, yeah, they're not gonna.
Yeah.
Fair play to them for finding some identity and starting to play really well, but...
I mean, if in that run, they lost 34-30 to the Lions, they went 36-7 against the Texans, then 33-27 to the Vikings, and then 41-17 against the Jags. So I think they've come up against bad defenses and haven't really managed to stop the better offenses.
No.
So, yeah, that's my pick.
So then the next question is... So we're predicting Packers win, number 1.
Yeah.
Saints and Seahawks both win, 2 and 3. Buccaneers are already in.
Yes.
So Buccaneers must play...
Wait a second. So if Saints win...
Buccaneers lose.
Wait, do they play each other?
You said it was all divisional, so...
It's Falcons-Bucks.
Oh yeah, Bucks win. Yeah, okay.
It's Saints-Panthers. So Saints will stay 2 if they win.
Yeah. I say so Bucks win, stay number 5. I see Cardinals, because I don't think the Bears can win. I think Cardinals win and go 6. Rams lose, but then stay 7. I think.
I'm not entirely sure actually on that.
Why?
I don't know. It's not showing me.
If the Cardinals win, they go 9-7. If the Bears lose, they go 8-8. So Cardinals are in, Bears are out. Cardinals and Rams will both be 9-7. If the Cardinals beat the Rams, I'm pretty sure they'll have the tiebreaker and better divisional. So, so I think then Cardinals go 6, Rams go 7.
It's not showing me the divisional records, so...
Oh, fair. I've got 2 and 3 for both of them, so...
Oh, okay, then.
So now the question is, and we've seen some of the chat say what they think. Who wins the NFC East? Because it could be Washington, it could be the Cowboys, and it could still be the New York Giants.
Yeah.
So we've got Washington playing
the game's
Giants.
coming up. Washington play Giants. No, Cowboys play Giants. Washington plays the Eagles. And the scenarios are
Washington
the Cowboys win, and a Washington loss send the Cowboys to the top. So if Cowboys lose, they can't get it.
If Cowboys,
they can't get it. If Washington wins, they get it. Washington can't lose and get it.
Can they not? What if they all lose?
No.
Oh no, of course, because they play. Because they'll be if a tie.
Giants?
No, what if there's a tie in the other game?
If which game? Sorry.
Oh no, of course, because a tie for the Cowboys would push them
Cowboys
above.
Cowboys tie and Washington loss would win them.
Okay, so Washington can't lose to the Eagles. Okay.
No. Washington need at least a tie and Dallas to lose, or tie. So if Washington ties, Dallas need to lose or tie. If Washington wins, that's it, they're won. And the Giants clinch the NFC East with a win and a Washington loss.
So what we want to, the one we need to figure out is Washington. Do they beat the Eagles?
Yeah, and I think they do.
Yeah, no, I agree.
If you look at that O line, and if you look at the Washington D line, it's just not fair.
Yeah, I think I would love to say that the Eagles' recent performance makes me feel that they can be competitive and put up a fight, but the way
no.
Taylor Heineke.
I think it's Taylor Heineke.
Either kind of Heineke or Smith will play decent enough. Giants versus Cowboys, I think, is more likely to be the Cowboys.
It's Taylor Heineke, yeah.
Yeah. Are we saying Cowboys?
Yeah, I think Cowboys win.
Yeah.
But Washington don't lose, so I think Washington gets it.
Yeah, I think I agree. I can see Washington lose. I think Washington are more likely to beat. Washington are more likely to lose to the Eagles than the Cowboys are to lose to the Giants.
Yes.
I think.
However, Washington plays Sunday night.
It's going to be interesting. I think that's
Cowboys Giants is one of the early games.
Yeah.
So it's at 6 p.m. for us, anyways.
Okay.
And then it's the Sunday night game.
Yeah, Eagles Washington is the last game, so we won't know.
Football team Eagles.
That's going to be good.
So basically, if the Giants win, then Washington. Well, they can't rest really, because if they lose, then New York wins. So essentially, Washington needs a win.
Yeah, well, yeah. All 32 teams will be playing this week. We hope.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, all 32 teams played last week, so it's all 32 teams play on Sunday this week. There's no Thursday night. There's no Monday night. There's only one Sunday night game.
Yeah.
And the rest are split evenly between early and late kickoff.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
It would be really good. I believe they've set it out so the early kickoff. There's a lot of AFC, but there's also some NFC. Don't worry. Early kickoff games: Falcons, Bucks.
Nice.
Cowboys, Giants, Jets, Patriots, Vikings, Lions, Steelers, Browns, Ravens, Bengals, Dolphins, Bills. And then the late kickoff is exciting. Saints, Panthers, Packers, Bears, Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos, Titans, Texans, Colts, Jaguars, Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks, 49ers.
Nice.
And then you've got the Sunday night football team versus Eagles.
Yeah. Red Zone is going to be mental. It's going to be
great. It is. Should we predict some of these games formally?
Go on. Let's go through them. Yeah.
Dolphins, Bills.
Yeah.
Saints, Panthers with Saints. Yeah. Packers, Bears. We say Packers.
Yeah.
Ravens, Bengals. We had Ravens.
Yeah.
Steelers, Browns. I believe we had.
I'm gonna go Browns. I think.
Same. Actually, I'm saying Browns. Yeah, I don't see it being.
Yeah.
It's going to be close, but when you're resting Big Ben, you're kind of agreeing to we don't really care about what happens in this game. So I think Browns take it because they need to win.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Vikings, Lions.
Oh, well, a game that really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Vikings. I think Vikings put a win on the end of the season. I can't.
Yeah. Chargers, Chiefs. This is either going to be an absolute blowout by the Chiefs, or it's going to be a really close game.
I think This is more difficult than I thought it would be because I think the Chiefs won't take this as a rest game because they're guaranteed first overall.
Yeah.
So I think they're like, let's play hard this week because then we get a rest in the following week.
Yeah. I think Chiefs take it, to be honest.
This guy tried to dive into the end zone and stopped at the 1. I think, yeah. I can see it being I can see like that upset percentage. I can see it being an upset, but I think it's unlikely.
Yeah, Chiefs take it.
Yeah.
Jets, Patriots.
To be fair, Jets. Like
same.
I'd like sorry,
Patriots
Matt,
Patriots have no fire. They're just down and out, and they're not looking like they'll be able to do anything.
Yeah, like you say, Matt. I think the Patriots will do something kind of unexpected, and which would be silly. The Jets have some fire, man. They kind of kind of exciting to watch. It's weird, but I can. I put them. I take the Jets on that one. Which I never
defense.
Thought I'd say.
Their defense is doing well.
Yeah.
And the Patriots' offense has been appalling.
Yeah.
Right, Cowboys Giants. We said Cowboys, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then football team Eagles. We said football team.
Yeah.
Falcons Bucks after that.
I think Bucks. Yeah. I think I don't. I
see the Falcons putting up a fight because they nearly beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Is I think the Falcons have been competitive this season, but I still think the Bucks are probably the better team.
Yeah, same. And then inconsequential Raiders Broncos.
That's the most mediocre game of the
year. Raiders take it though, I think.
To be honest, I'm going to call a tie. Cause it's more that neither team has shown that they kind of can win games.
That they want to win a game, yeah.
So
I call Raiders.
So I'd be tempted to go Broncos, but at the same time, I think Raiders are the better team. So
Broncos lost to the Chargers last week. If that gives you some perspective.
Yeah, but then it's I don't know.
Raiders take it in my opinion. And then Titans Texans, with suggesting Titans. Jaguars Colts, we think Colts. As much as I would love the Jaguars to win that,
I think it wouldn't mean anything.
No.
I say it wouldn't mean anything. I actually want. This is the really. I say the horrible thing. I had my whole rant about tanking and stuff.
Yeah.
And this is. I'm. Part of me doesn't want the Jaguars to win, not because of tanking, but I can just see all the Jaguars fans going. Like, if we win, it's like, oh, well done for purposely losing 14 games but winning twice against the Colts and things. And it's like, it's like, that is just the most awful attitude to have. So I really hope the Jaguars win. Like I say, it genuinely, it's the last game of the season. Just go out and play well and win. But they've done. I think the Jaguars have fought hard all season. It really.
They have.
And so as a Jaguars fan,
also at the same point, it's shown the coaching isn't very great.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a really sad season, so I really hope it ends on a high, considering that we know what's going to happen over the next few months. But at the same time, I don't know. It's weird. I sort of hope they lost as punishment to Jaguars fans, which is because we don't deserve this team. We don't. It's just they work so hard for us, and we don't deserve to treat them like. So, and also if the Colts win, I'd rather the Colts do well than the Titans. So, which is weird. I think most Jaguars.
Titans
fans
will be difficult in the playoffs because they'll run the ball, and that'll be really scary.
Yeah. So, hi Scooter Barber. Welcome to our chat. We're currently debating Colts Jaguars. I think.
Yeah.
As big a Jaguars fan as I am, I think, I really do hope they win it. They deserve it. They really do, and I hope Minshew gets in and wins it, and someone goes, "Oh, maybe he's not actually that awful."
Yeah. They're still going to draft Trevor Lawrence. You've got the number 1 overall pick. You cannot not draft.
Do people want us to talk about the draft? Because I have a new opinion. I don't have to.
I'm gonna let's finish up with some predictions, and then I'll talk very briefly a little bit of Packers. Cardinals Rams, we said Cardinals, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then Seahawks 49ers, we said Seahawks.
Yeah.
And that's it. Just a little segment about the Packers, not very long.
We'll put it in playoff context. Well, let's do that.
So most people were thinking, oh, they're 1-2 against teams over 500. How are they going to face against the Titans?
Yeah.
Absolutely smashes them. And part of that is due to A.J. Dillon.
Yeah.
And rookie running back, everyone said, oh no, why didn't you draft a wide receiver in the second round, or even the first round? And we get A.J. Dillon in the second round. He went for like 110 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
And was incredible. He had more yards than Aaron Jones did.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones had 94 yards in the end.
Yeah.
And it goes to show that down the stretch, it's the running game that matters.
Yeah. It's like we always say, actually, it's the teams with good defenses and good running games that win championships. It's not about
the Chiefs were kind of a bit of a wow. They're so explosive that you have to pass to catch up with them. Whereas what the Packers did, they controlled the game, they ran it lots and early, and Rodgers threw as many touchdowns as he did interceptions.
Yeah.
Incompletions.
Yeah.
Which is either wow, he's thrown a lot of touchdowns, or wow, he's thrown very few incompletions.
Yeah.
And he scored 4 through 4, so yeah, that's impressive.
I pressed the wrong button.
But yeah, so that's got me really excited for the playoffs for the Packers. Is that running game is looking dangerous, and the O-line's healthy again. Corey Lindsey was back.
Yeah.
Best center in the league, and I think that game against the Titans showed we can actually stop the run. We held Derrick Henry to under 100 yards.
Yeah. Just to say,
our pass defense was pretty good. Jair Alexander was incredible.
This is going to be my thing to put it in playoff context.
Mm.
I don't think the Titans are going to go very far, and 2, I'm going to counteract that and say the Packers still aren't unbeatable, because the Jaguars are also another team that have held Derrick Henry to under 100 yards. So I think the Titans have just been shown up to say, actually, they're in trouble because teams have figured out Derrick Henry all year. At the start of the year with the Jaguars, at the end of the year with the Packers. And I think...
I do agree with that, but I think this game is more hope for the Packers than it is loss of hope for the Titans.
If the Titans win the division, which we expect them to, they'll end up playing either the Dolphins or the Ravens. And I think
they beat the Dolphins, lose to the Ravens.
I think either of them are going to be great matchups. I think it'd be funny. They'd be great.
Yeah.
How many QBs does Jags want? All of them. Yeah, accurate.
Yeah, that's my brief section on the Packers. Run game's doing really well. O-line is good. Pass defense was really good. Run defense was surprisingly good. Held the number 1 scoring offense in the league to 14.
Yeah. Seeing as we're talking about playoffs, who are our certains and who are our dark horses?
Right, let's start AFC. I'm going certain. Obviously, you have to put the Chiefs in.
I disagree.
I think you can't not put the Chiefs in there.
I think they're going to struggle. I think
they get to the championship game, but then they face the Bills and they lose.
That would be... I can see... Like, you think about how the Ravens did last year.
Mm.
And yes, they came up against a Titans team that was on it. Like...
Yeah.
I can just see a team being on it, and the Chiefs not, actually.
Yeah.
Like, there's it was amazing to see Andy Reid finally win a Super Bowl after so long. But there was a reason that he hadn't. I was like, he was a great coach, but he makes errors.
Yeah.
And so I can see the Chiefs struggling. And I think because
but I think the only team they will struggle against is the Bills.
I can see them struggling. I think other teams, at their best, will make them struggle.
Yeah.
I think if the Titans decide to play well, which is looking unlikely, the Titans again can be a threat to anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, Chiefs and Bills are kind of high up for me. I think my dark horse is the Ravens.
Interesting. My dark horse is
they're putting it together at the right time.
They are
at the right place. Lamar Jackson's looking dangerous again. I wouldn't count them out.
No, I agree. I think they're sort of in the opposite place at the moment. See what I mean? The Chiefs, that the Ravens were so good and then just collapsed, and the Chiefs sort of were consistently good and just kept going. I agree with you. I think the Ravens are in the right place to do the opposite. My dark horse is the Colts. Terrific defense. Run game's really coming along.
Yeah.
They've just got to get there.
They've just got to get there. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think actually that's quite telling.
Yeah, continue. Yeah, sorry.
If it goes how you predicted, Ravens play Titans, and I think that whoever wins that game will deserve to win that game because that's going to be a fantastic matchup. But then that also, it then also puts some interesting matchup.
I think the playoffs set out so that if the highest seed wins every game, it ends up being 1v2 in the championship.
It should be, yeah. Colts play Steelers, Bills play Dolphins. If it goes how we predicted, I'm predicting Browns to win and not Dolphins. So actually it would go Titans Ravens, which would be great. It then go Steelers Browns, which would be great, and it would go Bills Colts. I can't see the Colts beating the Bills as much as I would love them to.
Bills are looking really complete at the moment.
Yeah, and then I think I would. Who would I then take?
I think it just ends up being.
I could take Browns over Steelers.
Honest.
I could take Browns over Steelers. Again, it'd be 2 weeks in a row. I think the Browns would be quite happy to do that.
Yeah.
Ravens over Titans potentially. Then it'd be interesting. Be very interesting.
I still actually both conferences I see it just being 1 and 2. Getting to the conference.
I can't like all the teams. I think. Sort of in my mind, it's 1 and 2, and then everyone below them. It's been really competitive, really dangerous. We might get some surprises. It might be a really kind of fun playoff with loads of surprises.
Yeah.
But
however,
at the same time,
you can see the reasons why they've lost, and you can see, and there's still problems there into why they've lost.
Yeah.
And that takes me on to the NFC. That
Blankenship will
I think Packers Saints are my top 2. They're top 2 at the moment. I think that is the conference. My dark horse would be the Bucks, because if they can put it together, then they will be very dangerous. It's just if they can put it all together against the right opponent.
I
potentially Rams could look good.
I like Matt's prediction for Cardinals to be dangerous. I think they could be. They very well could be.
I mean that I'm discounting them for the kind of same reason I'm discounting the Seahawks, is they've been outplayed in a lot of games, and they've just looked shaky in others.
Yeah.
And like we now have set ways of beating the Seahawks, of beating the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be. I think that's why I have the Bucks and the Rams here as my dark horses, is that they're the ones who have, or who do the sneaky things to win. The Rams have an incredible pass defense, or incredible defense when they want to. The Bucks can just light any team up, and they've shown that. But they need to be on their game to do it, and that's the same with the Rams. And I think even if the Seahawks are on their game, you can disrupt them.
I agree. I think I can see the Seahawks being a problem if they get into momentum. But to get into momentum, they need to have a really dominant win against the 49ers this week.
They need to stop getting sacks. That's been a massive problem this year, is that they've allowed so many sacks.
Yeah. And then I think the other thing they need to do is, I've forgotten who's playing who would play who now. Seahawks
Russell Wilson is the second most sacked QB in the league.
Yeah.
He's been sacked 45 times this year, and I think if you're not stopping that, then
yeah,
it's going to be really difficult.
Seahawks would then have to play Rams or Cardinals because they would be 3rd seed, so they would have to play 5th, which would be Rams Cardinals.
It's currently the Bucks.
No, sorry, they wouldn't play 5th; they'd play 6th.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
They'd play 6th, which would be Rams or Cardinals, I think. Potentially Bears.
It would only be Bears if Bears and Cardinals win.
Yeah, which we're not counting out.
No.
But
and actually, I don't think the Seahawks can win that game. I think they've had. I think they would struggle against the Bears as well.
Yeah, if the Bears defense wants to play, then they'll play, and it'll look good.
Be interesting. Be really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my prediction. That it will be just 2 seeds on each side: Chiefs, Bills, Packers, Saints. And I think it goes Packers, Bills, Super Bowl. As a Packers fan, if I haven't mentioned it enough.
I think Bills are my Super Bowl candidate.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I think Bears can only face Saints. No, Bears can. Can they? Oh, I can't. I can't work. I need like a spreadsheet. No, because Bears won't come. Bears can't come. No, Bears can go 5th or can go 6th or 7th, which means that they will either play Saints or.
I don't think they
Seahawks.
can.
No, because if the Cardinals and the Bears lose, the Bears go 7th.
Yeah.
If the Bears win and the Cardinals...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but if the Bears win and the Cardinals win... No, but if the Bears win and the Cardinals win, they go 5th, sure. No, 6th, surely. Which means they'd come up against... I'm so confused. I genuinely, so confusing.
Would the Rams then drop out?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Would they not?
I think so, yeah.
How do the Bears get in? Because if they're possible
with
to get
a win
in,
or an Arizona lose.
So if they win, they're in.
Yeah. But if they lose, then Arizona's in their place. But if Arizona loses, then the Bears are still in at 7.
If the Bears, Rams, Saints and Seahawks win, the Packers go down to 3rd seed. Oh, I see what you mean. If the Bears win and they come in... Yeah, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, well played, Matt. Gosh, it's so confusing. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be really good.
It's going to be so good. Oh,
Yeah.
We're going to enjoy doing our first playoff coverage with you all.
Yeah, we will.
And then preparing things for the off-season, that'd be good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it should be really interesting. I'm looking forward to writing a little bit of way too early predictions for next season. Also, where potential free agents might go.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I will probably end up creating my own draft boards as well.
Matt's using the ESPN playoff team. Useful. Okay,
Yeah.
difficult for the Bears then, gosh.
Yeah. But, yeah, no, I'm going to be creating some of my own mock drafts likely.
Yeah, we'll probably both have a look at some.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting few weeks, I can say that.
Yeah. Is there anything else people want us to talk about? I think I've talked all I wanted to talk about.
I'm either going to come back next week in tears or just kind of really excited. So we'll see, and that's the beauty of the NFL. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
But also, it's very nerve-wracking for me. So you know.
It's going to be interesting. Going to be really interesting.
Yeah,
And I get to stop worrying about whether the Jaguars are going to win or lose.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because they'll lose.
Well, we don't know. I can see that being a win.
Yeah.
Well, if there are no more questions,
I see Matt. I see Cardinals winning, just because Jared Goff isn't playing.
And the Rams have looked.
They throw the ball. with Jared Goff 40 or 50 times a game.
Rams also lost to the Jets and then to the Seahawks. So it's looking a bit oof.
So yeah, I see Arizona taking that, but that's kind of up to debate. Really, that's going to be one of the closer games, I think.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
I think they will.
Yeah, because you've got to factor in a quarterback who's been around 2 seasons but hasn't played.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. Unless there are any more questions, I think we're all done for the night.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching as always. Looking forward to this week.
It's been really fun trying to figure out who's going to get in the playoffs, who's not.
Yeah, it's going to be. This is so unpredictable. I think we've had a good go, but it's so unpredictable because teams are going to want it so much. It's going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. Yeah. Thank you everyone for watching. Feel free to go follow us on Instagram and YouTube and stuff. So I try to upload everything to YouTube so that it's all there to go back and watch. We've got Instagram to keep us updated on things.
Yeah, and feel free to drop us a message in week and everything.
If you want us to talk about anything.
If you want any questions or anything answered, we're happy to do some research on anything you want us to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we can bring that to the next stream.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Bye.